We're back with our She Can channel where we interview women from all walks of life about their journey, how they got to where they are today. And today we're interviewing Terri Coutee. Terri, it's lovely to have you on She Can. Tell us a bit more about yourself and what you do.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. I'm very pleased and very honored to be part of this movement and organization. So thank you for inviting me. I am a nonprofit leader. In 2016, I opened a nonprofit foundation, which is a business. So that's what I do.
Terri, tell us a little bit more. You're the founder of the DiepCjourney Foundation. You're a speaker. You have had a personal experience and you turned that into a real power, into real support for other women. So tell us more exactly what you do and how you got there.
Very happy to do that. We don't always know in life how our professions will lead us. And my profession as an educator all my life took a turn in 2014. I was diagnosed for the second time with breast cancer. And in 2014, I didn't have any other choice medically for me but to have my breast removed with double mastectomy. So after I was during the time I was in recovery, I began to research my options for breast reconstruction. And 7 months later, I had what they call deep flap breast reconstruction. There are a number of reconstruction options, but I chose this because I wanted to use my own skin, my own tissue, and to recreate and reconstruct my breast with my own tissue. I was so really fascinated by the entire process, but more importantly, the work that I went through to find a surgeon, to learn about the different options of reconstruction was massive. It was both emotionally taxing, it took time and energy. And because I have been an educator all of my life, I firmly believe that in any situation in life, the more proper information that you have, the better informed decision you can make. So I did a pivot. And at the time of my second diagnosis, I was in my master's program for teacher leadership. And I was thoroughly enjoying that. So I had the basis. I had the privilege to have the basis to research what my options were, to find a surgeon. Not everyone has that. And I came to realize that. So my pivot, I left my master's in teacher leadership and I opened a nonprofit in 2016 to support those who had to go through this arduous process of finding a reconstructive surgeon, learning about the surgery, what is recovery like, and not only that, to live beyond a breast cancer diagnosis into survivorship. It's a huge spectrum of services that we provide at the foundation because it's a long process that people have to go through when they make the decision to have breast reconstruction. And so I found it very rewarding to be able to pay it forward to others who were in my situation. And that's what our nonprofit, the DiepCjourney Foundation nonprofit, does. And although the name of it is DIEP, first initial of my last name, C, DiepCjourney Foundation, DIEP is a procedure that I have, but because as a nonprofit leader, we cannot stay stagnant. And so over the past year, since 2016, when I opened my nonprofit foundation, it has been a learning process for me And I have now expanded to, discussing all options for women and men who wish to have breast reconstruction, whether it is using your own tissue, using implants, or a hybrid, a combination of both, as well as respecting the option of no reconstruction. And a term called aesthetic flat closure has come into being because of patient advocacy work, because we need to let women know that they need to ask about aesthetic flat closure if they're deciding on no reconstruction, so that they have a comfortable and aesthetically pleasing flat closure if they decide on no reconstruction. So it's not a type of breast reconstruction, it's a type of chest wall reconstruction, I describe it as. So I have learned so much over the years and have been so happy to be able to expand the support that we provide at the foundation.
And so amazing, Terri. And thank you for your real high level of service. I'm wondering what your main motivator is going forwards, Terri. What is the thing that's driving you to keep doing this work?
Honestly, it's leaving a legacy for my children. We have raised two sons, they're adult children now. It's not only leaving a legacy for them, but it's leaving a legacy for other women. And I'm driven to be able to create a space, a support, and provide this foundation work so that hopefully in the future, others will be inspired to carry forth this work, no matter what it is. It doesn't matter what type of work you're doing in society. I think it has to become purposeful. You have to know what the vision is for your business, whether it's a nonprofit or any other type of business. And you have to, be able to inspire others to create a ripple that will continue after you have, completed your work or decided to step back.
Yeah, that's lovely, Terri. Terri, so what top qualities do you feel you have that make you so good at doing this work and supporting other women in their journey and giving them these options and educating them on their options?
I think it takes a high dose of empathy. And since I have had breast cancer twice, I think that I carry that high dose of empathy. However, I think in this space, you also have to be a bit of an outlier. Not everyone's going to agree with what you're doing. They're not always going to align with what you're doing. I really firmly believe that in this space of nonprofit leadership, especially in the world of breast cancer, you have to be a bit of a risk taker. I am a firm believer in providing evidence-based information. I have created my platform using social media, which can be and is for me a very powerful platform. However, you take risk because you are going to encounter critique. So you have to stay the course, you have to be agile, you have to remain empathetic, focus on your mission. And I think those are my strong qualities. And I gather another one too is I gather a great deal of energy by connecting other people and engaging with people. Not everyone has that desire, that personal fire in their belly, I guess is a better way to describe it. But I'm very energized being with people and connecting them and supporting them and helping them.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Terri. And thank you for saying all that. And it reminds me of something Brene Brown said. And she said, when you step into the ring, then obviously you're open for attacks. And that is definitely something that takes a bold boldness and courage. So thank you for
Yes.
mentioning that. Terri,
Yes.
so what would you be most proud of to date in your journey?
I have to say, I did not realize that I would be the leader of a nonprofit foundation. So it's not only having the courage and taking the risk to establish a nonprofit, but I'm most proud of the fact that I've stayed the course and we've been doing it since 2016. I was told early on in my career, opening a nonprofit, that if you don't stick with it, and these were by other mentors, these were other C-class women who were mentoring me, who, were in other business leadership positions. And they told me, if you don't stick with it for 3 years, people are not going to take you seriously. And I always held on to that piece of information that was given to me by another woman entrepreneur and businesswoman. I always held on to that. And it wasn't always easy to have the stamina to continue this work, but I'm most proud of the fact that I opened the foundation, I stuck with it, I've allowed it to grow through the contacts and the people that I meet. And I have great hopes for the future too, because you can't stop growing. You can't stop understanding and learning what the new visions are. So that's what I'm most proud of, honestly.
Yeah, wonderful. Terri, so what top tips would you give to a woman who is now faced with that reality of having breast cancer and undergoing a double mastectomy? What top tips would you give to her?
Embrace community. I think that being in a community of others who understand completely what you're going through, all the barriers are broken down. The common thread is breast cancer, unfortunately. But the beauty of that is the community support that you get. Understand that there are different communities out there. I often refer to this as finding your tribe. When you sit for years, we've been getting, excuse me, I just dropped my phone. You can edit that out. For years, we have been gathering in community space. We've been telling stories. We've been sharing ideas. And when you have found your tribe, when you have found that comfortable space, because I believe at the end of the day, people want education, information, and support so they can deal, especially with something as difficult as breast cancer. It holds so much emotional change, physical change. It involves people that you have been caring for all of your life, and now you must recognize that you have to be cared for. So there's just a lot that goes into it. And I think the strongest advice that I have for people going through breast cancer is find that community, find your tribe. You can remain quiet and listen. You can be an active participant. So I think that's the most important thing. And to know you're not alone. It can be a very isolating disease, even when you find your community, because you're dealing with it on your own. But I think knowing that you're not alone, knowing there's others out there who understand and are willing to help and support you is the most important thing. So make that step to find your community.
Thank you so much for that beautiful tip, Terri. Terri, so what are the goals and dreams or plans you still have with your work?
Well, I personally would like to explore more writing options. I have thought about publishing. I've been writing for a number of years with my blog, but I've thought about publishing. That is kind of a bucket list or actually a goal of mine. I also want to stay abreast of all the current surgical techniques internationally and in the US that are occurring, and to do that by continuing to explore who it is that I need to connect with to understand what the new innovations are, what the new learning innovations and modalities are. You know, things have changed over the years in terms of how we get education and how we learn things. And there's so much on the frontier for that with AI, with virtual learning. And I want to stay abreast of all of that to optimize learning and education for people in the breast cancer and breast reconstruction space.
Terri, I can't thank you enough for talking to me today, for giving so much support for women in that situation. And we have more and more women in with those challenges. And so I really am thankful, and thank you so much for telling it to us so beautifully today on She Can.
I'm grateful. Thank you very much.